All right, what's up, y'all? This is something different. We're doing a video this time, and we're just trying to see how it looks, how it turns out, and I'm gonna try to make it as engaging and as value packed as it can be for you guys. And so this is a little bit different. What I'm doing for this is like we're gonna be breaking down books that we think is gonna add value to you guys and to us. I know it added value to me, and this book specifically is really good because it talks about. Let's see, I think I have it right here. 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. I don't know if you heard about it. It's a really good book. But yeah, we're gonna be breaking down either 1 or 2 books each season, and this is one of them. And I'm gonna make a series on each. And so this is just gonna be breaking down the first habit. And so yeah. So why this book specifically? Well, your day, how you spend your day, is more important to me. I think about it than those major achievement moments because it really determines whether you're ready for those high achievement moments, for those moments that require you to maybe do something that you've been practicing all your life, and so you're ready for that moment. Okay, so you have to pick the best habits to implement for yourself if you want to achieve those goals. And another reason, so there's 3 reasons. So the third reason for me is that this book argues that most of the self-help book stuff right now is like very external, quick fix, like wishy-washy type stuff. And so this, as opposed to this, is more internal first. It's a longer process, but it starts first inside out approach is what it calls it. And so it begins with this and not what you show to others. And so that's, I believe, is a good reason to read this book. And a really good example that it says right here, it says that you can't wait the last day of, and it takes it in terms of farming terms. You can't wait the last day of sowing season, quick fix, and hope to yield a lot. Yeah, you can't wait the last day of sowing season and start put the seeds in the ground and then hope to yield a lot during harvesting season. You have to begin early. It's a process to it, okay? And so that's what it calls the inside out approach. And so there's 7 habits. 1 through 3 are called private victory. And so it begins first inside out. It begins first. No one's watching. It's just you, yourself, and God. And so, yeah. So here we're going to start off with what is a habit? Well, in the book, it really thinks, it says as 3 things. Knowledge, which equals what to do and why. Skill, desire. Well, skill is how to do. Desire is want to do. So if you want to implement a habit, you got to have these 3 things: knowledge, skill, and desire. So if you don't really have these 3, then you'll find it a lot harder to implement that habit each day. And so I think that's a really good idea. I never really heard that before. And so now that we kind of have an idea of what it means, what a habit is, let's talk about what the first habit is, which is being proactive. That's habit number 1. So proactivity is implemented in this book by 2 main concepts. So here we got proactive language, and we got circle of concern versus circle of influence. And maybe we'll try to put some images so you guys can take screenshots or whatever, And I think I'm gonna put down the link of this notes that I took. So if you want to read up more in detail on this stuff, you'll be able to look at all this stuff and all of that, and read it at your own time and all that, going your own pace. And so, yeah, and so first thing, before we get into all that, we gotta talk about let me just do something real quick. We gotta talk about what is being proactive. What does that mean? So the book really talks about it in terms of And I'm gonna use my whiteboard here so it becomes more visual. So it's defined by two things: taking initiative. I don't know how to spell that, so y'all gonna have to help me out here. Yeah, I don't know how to spell that. Initiative and responsibility. Here we go. Sorry, there we go. Initiative and responsibility. I don't know if that's in frame or not, but it don't matter. Yeah, we're good. Okay, cool. I got my boy Ellie back here behind the camera, so yeah, thank you, Ellie. Appreciate you, man. All right. So these two things, initiative and responsibility. If this is defined, this is what means being proactive. Okay. So what does all this mean? Okay, what is initiative? Initiative is just taking action, and responsibility is just responsibility. You know, you're taking ownership. You're taking accountability, basically. And so let's break this down even further. Proactive versus reactive. Someone who's proactive is taking responsibility, as I just said, taking initiative in your own life to make things happen regardless of your emotions, regardless of everyone else's opinions. So you're on the ground regardless of how you feel. It's just a discipline. You're doing this every day. You're going at it. That's being proactive. That's taking responsibility of your own life, not allowing everyone else to maybe make you feel this way. And if you feel this way, you're not doing this or that or whatever. Basically, not making no excuses is really kind of what it is. And then reactive. What's reactive? Well, reactive is letting go of responsibility, letting others decide for you, and always blaming others. That's not taking accountability over your own mistakes. Everyone makes mistakes. It's okay. Like, I know I made mistakes. And if you don't take responsibility over it, if you don't take accountability, you're not helping yourself. You're just making excuses for yourself, and that's not good. You don't get nothing done if all you do is make excuses. But if you accept the truth, even if it hurts, and accept that, and then try to do something about it, you try to fix that, you're a lot in a better place than denying the truth and just allowing everyone else to define who you are. So that's proactive versus reactive. Now, as I said, proactivity is defined by two things, which is reactive language and proactive. Reactive language and circle of concern versus circle of influence. So here we're going to talk about reactive language versus proactive language, which is just going to be a simple example here. So an example of reactive language is there's nothing I can do. Proactive language is let's look at our alternatives. So here we see that the first person is like, well, there's nothing I can do, so what can I do? They're not taking ownership. They're not taking responsibility. Second person is like, all right, what are my options? Like, what can I do this? Can I do that? They're taking responsibility and initiative. They're taking action. So another example is I can't. That's reactive. And then I choose is proactive. And this is a good quote that says there's two men. So one says I can't, and the other says I can, and they're both right. And what that simply means is that people that say I can't are most likely just they're doing it to themselves. They're like they can't because they're saying they can't. Someone that says I can is more likely going to do it because they're more optimistic about it. They're willing to take that challenge. If you're not willing to take that challenge, then you're not going to take that action. So that's just an example of proactive versus reactive language, which is a good thing. All right. So now let's get to the second concept. Sorry, that was a little voice crack. Circle of concern versus circle of influence. Okay. So this is a more like kind of, it's not a hard concept, but it's more a little more nuanced, I guess. And so circle of concern is accidents, problems at work, national debt, nuclear war. Okay, nuclear. Circle of concern, basically, and I might do a little as well, another diagram or something. Circle of concern is basically things we really don't have much control over. Don't have much control over. My handwriting's not the best, y'all, so y'all gonna have to bear with me. Equals this. Yes. Circle of concern equals things you can't really do much about. You don't really have much control over. And that's like I was just saying, a nuclear bomb. I mean, you can't really do much about a nuclear bomb. You can you can try to go to the moon. You can try to get on a rocket launcher, and maybe you could try to teleport yourself somewhere. You just can't really do much about that. National debt. I mean, I don't know. You can't really do much about that either. And accidents, they happen. You can't control that. Sometimes it just happens in life, right? And so that's circle of concern. Now we're gonna talk about circle of influence. Circle of influence. Influence. Here we go. I feel like that dude from I don't know if you guys seen Khan Academy. You guys, shout out to all the nerds out there. Khan Academy. If you ever need chemistry help or something like that. All right, so here we go. Circle of concern. Circle of influence is things we can do something about. Okay. So here we have. All right. And bear with me, my handwriting is not the best, y'all. So yeah, okay. Things we can do something about. So that really does, that kind of, is self-explanatory. For example, you can control how you react to something. Okay, now maybe it's hard to do that, but you can learn how to do it. You can also control whether you want to be fit or not. You can control whether you have the discipline to read an hour each day or you don't. Even if your day is booked, hey, maybe take 30 minutes and split them up. 30 minutes in the morning, 30 minutes at night. You can control that. There's some things you can control in life. How you are, there's stuff that you can do, obviously. So now, what's the whole point of me yapping about all this circle of influence and circle of concern? Well, I'm getting there, so just hang on for a minute. Let's see. Okay, so what the main point here is that if you have reactive focus, you're mostly just focusing on the circle of concern, which is things you really can't control. You can't control whether you're in a car accident, really. As much as you want to be a good driver, there's always going to be some dumb idiot that's going to be driving, and you just never know. And maybe they're not paying attention, then boom. And if you don't have Geico insurance, then you're just not. Maybe shout out to Geico. I think they're really good. So yeah, you can't control that. But now that's if you have a reactive focus. If all you do is focus, you're gonna be stressed out the whole time. You're gonna be worrying on things you can't really control. You don't really have much say in that. If you're worrying about the national debt and that's all you're worrying about, that makes no sense. It's not really strategic. It's not smart. And now, as opposed to if you have a more proactive focus, which is you're focusing on circle of influence, things you can do something about. Like you can work on your discipline, and if you want to learn how to cook, well, start learning, start watching YouTube videos, start buying recipes. Start buying food for recipes, and you have more say-so in these things, right? So if you have a proactive focus, you're focusing on that. Now here we kind of have a. Now here, what I like about the book is that it has a try at home. At the end of each chapter has a try at home thing, which is like it gives you like these things that you can actually do, like take action on. And I think we could try to maybe try to edit them in, and maybe if we can. If not, they'll be on the notes. So if you want them, you can look, you can see them, and there'll be some links for PDFs and stuff like that. And but yeah, so there's a lot of stuff in this book that's really good, and that's just a little taste of it. So in conclusion, we gotta wrap this up. I don't want to make the video too long, so it's not too too boring or whatever. I want to make it as action packed, or not action, but as value packed for you guys as possible. So in conclusion, take responsibility for your life. There's a quote in the book. And second, take initiative, action. It's that simple. So being proactive is simply taking responsibility over your own life and taking action. If you do these two things, you'll be in a lot better place than you are right now. And if you're already doing these things, well, now you have a more concise idea. You have a more clear idea of what it takes. So yeah, this is just the first habit, being proactive. And hopefully you guys learned something. If you didn't, cool. I just want to bring value to you guys. Yeah, that sums it up for me, guys. So how about you be proactive and hit that like button and that subscribe button and help us out. We're trying to grow this channel and make something special with it. And yeah, thank you guys for sticking around. If you made it to the end, I hope you guys have a good one. Peace.